You might be wondering how we got here, and yeah, I know it's kind of cliche, but whatever. It starts off with us three idiots, Alejandro, Gio, and me, Garrison. We decided to do a week-long road trip around the northern half of Arizona. Our first stop was Lake Havasu, where we decided to do some fishing. Fortunately, we didn't catch anything, but this old dude did give us a fish, which we let go. Along with deciding to camp, we made a couple other poor decisions.
Hey guys, this is Gio Borez. I am 19 and I'm about to drink this thing of milk. This is the culminating event.
Come on, drink that milk. We regained our sanity after a good night's sleep.
I slept like shit.
Okay, well, I got a good night's sleep. Anyhow, we took a group pick and headed north, with one small setback. Okay, maybe two. But after that, it was nothing but smooth sailing and wide open roads. We stopped for whatever caught our attention, like these railroads, or this sign. No Arizona road trip would be complete without a visit to the Grand Canyon. I'd never been to the Grand Canyon before, and it was pretty cool. Of course, being the Grand Canyon, there was a ton of traffic. Luckily, being on motorcycles gave us time to stretch, or in my case, I just laid back. Our campsite had this cool volcanic rock, which is great to sleep on, but not so great to ride on. Oh. There's only a couple scuff marks on the bikes, but other than that, there was no real harm done. We took a short detour to visit Meteor Crater, but due to the global pandemic, it was closed. So we hopped back on the open road and headed towards the Petrified National Forest. For those who don't know, the Petrified National Forest isn't really a forest. Well, it used to be. The trees there have actually all turned to stone, which is pretty cool in my opinion. After the Petrified National Forest, we got on Highway 191, more commonly known as the Coronado Trail. The winding roads and scenic views really made it worthwhile to ride, but a couple miles in, the problem began. Gio's bike, being the piece of shit that it is, decided to brake, conveniently over 30 miles from the closest town. Luckily, Gio's phone had service, so we made a couple phone calls and then hatched our plan. We put Gio's bike in neutral and managed to roll all the way to the closest campsite. The next morning, we called roadside assistance and waited for them to show up. We waited and waited some more, and then that brings us back to the beginning. The workers loaded up Gio's bike, but unfortunately they couldn't take Gio with them, so I got stuck with him as a passenger for 80 miles to the closest town that rented U-Hauls. We rented a small box truck and loaded up both bikes. We didn't really know what we were doing, so we just strapped them down and prayed they wouldn't tip over. Strapping them down was only half the problem though. None of us had ever driven a box truck, and it took us a minute just to figure out how to put it in gear. From there, it was only 140 miles home. Although it wasn't exactly the way we intended to finish, we had to make the best of it. So we did, by singing copyrighted songs that we really don't know the lyrics of.